Hey, Cardinals fans. Welcome to the Redbird Rundown. I'm Jonathan, joined by Matt and Andy. And in this episode, we'll delve into the upcoming winter meetings, discuss the newest organizational hires, explore deeper into advanced metrics, and rank our favorite Christmas movies. You can email the pod at redbirdrundownpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at redbirdrundown2, on Blue Sky at Redbird Rundown, and find us on Facebook at Redbird Rundown Podcast. Please also take a moment to follow, rate, and review the pod on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We appreciate your support and want to grow the show so more Cards fans can join in the conversation, and that's the best way to help us out. Apparently, in our research, we have found that there is possibly a listener from Belgium. That could be a VPN, or that could also just be someone from Belgium. So if there is a Belgium listener, this one's for you. Quoi de neuf, which means what's up in French, which is one of the three languages that they speak there. So quoi de neuf, what's up? All right, but before we get into it, the rundown today, I do have an interesting story for you fellas, and I'm curious.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I was working the other day, and I work from home, which is
and we don't know what you do because your job is we can't know what you do. Just FYI for the listener. Right. We have no idea. Not even the brothers know what Jonathan does.
I work at Walmart. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you don't.
Okay, so I'm sitting here on a work call, and I hear this noise outside my window, and I'm like, what is happening? Right? Like I look at that, it sounds like a jet, and I look outside, and there's a guy ripping down the road on a souped up lawnmower.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember those days at Mount Vernon High School? Do you remember those at our high school?
Yeah, like the tractor to work day, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So I got to think to myself, like, what kind of lawnmower is this? First
zero
off,
turn? Yeah, zero turn?
No, it wasn't a zero turn. It was just like the regular seated lawnmower.
Okay.
But like, what are we doing? Is it he have this thing souped to like it's full bunny all the time?
Oh yeah.
No turtle, just bunny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't get anybody. Do you ever run it on turtle? I don't think I let it run.
No, who needs turtle? I'm trying to get stuff done, man.
I mean, it's like halfway up when I start the lawnmower. Either way, go.
No. Yeah. So I tried to clock it and see if the guy had a license plate, and I didn't see anything. So this guy's just riding as dirty as can be on a lawnmower
on the East Coast,
just ripping down the road.
He's just raw dogging a lawnmower in the condos.
But I got to think here. Is there like a deck? You know, is the blade still there, or is this thing been souped?
What brand? What color was it?
It was like a darker color. See, I was looking for like if she's a deer, I know it's green.
That's right.
There's another like orange brand. So this thing may have been custom, I guess is what I'm getting to here.
That's what I'm saying. Was there any modifications? I mean, was it going quick or was it?
Yeah, we're talking probably no less than 45 miles an hour.
No kidding.
No helmet, no nothing. Just he probably.
Oh man, this is so funny, Andy. You said bring your tractor school day. So the school that we chat is just prime central for what we do. And one year, this kid brought a souped up riding lawnmower and was just motoring and doing donuts in the parking lot and got in trouble and had to get sent home with it. And so, not only like I'm just cracking up at this story, but I'm thinking like, man, I've not only have I seen this before, I've been within like 10 feet while he's doing wheelies in the parking lot. It was insane.
Well. If you, I guess the guy needed to go get some milk, eggs, something. Just thought, you know what? I'm not taking the Kia today, babe. I'm taking the Craftsman.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that's my story.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's try this out for a segue. See how you like this. Dallas, Texas is a place where you might see some of these vehicles.
Winter's coming. Here it is.
You might just get here and there and everywhere, and they've got to do lawn care quite a bit farther and longer in the season in Dallas, Texas, and some other places. That is also where the winter meetings are being held. Winter is indeed here in baseball. The winter meetings are here. Jon Snow will be there. Yeah. The Night King, I'm sure, will be trying to trade some future draft picks for some assets. So anyway, the winter meetings are like, this is traditional. It's annual, happens once a year. The general managers of the teams, like basically the baseball bosses of the teams, gather together in the same, I would assume, is like a hotel complex, with a big ballroom, etc. So sometimes these meetings are like the hot stove really gets cooking. Deals are going down and people are signing and things are happening. And sometimes these winter meetings are kind of like the prelude to the hot stove, like they're just kind of stoking it and getting it in gear. But then sometimes those conversations will like bear fruit later. Like you kind of kick the tires on a deal and then it bears fruit later down in the offseason. And so the Cardinals, as I feel like the theme of this podcast has been so far, is that the Cardinals are in kind of a weird position. So we are not gonna sign Juan Soto. So for the Cards fans out there that hope for us to do a 15-year, $750 million deal, DeWitt that's not happening. So I guess what I want to get your reaction to, guys, is what do you expect out of the Cardinals next week? So these meetings are Monday through Friday. Actually, when some of the listeners are listening to it, the meetings are ongoing as we go. So what do you see coming down the pike here?
Well, this is the same time that they do that draft, right? Like, is this
Rule 5?
The Rule 5
draft comes a little bit later.
Which,
we're right in that same. Yes.
Let me flesh that out just so I think I understand that completely, and you guys correct me on this. So Rule 5, it's not like the NBA draft, right, or the NFL draft where they getting kids out of like college and like they just take any, because isn't there something where like
that happens in June in baseball? There is a draft like that, but
so this is like if they're not already drafted on the 40-man roster. What's the caveat? Why is it a Rule 5 draft versus just like a normal quote unquote draft?
Yeah, so there's a one big difference with that is like the regular draft is college kids, right?
Yeah.
This draft is, I think it's if you have been on a team for 5 years, you have to be either protected by the 40-man roster, like you just said, or you are eligible to be drafted by another team. Is that right, Matt? Is that how you?
That's right. And if you are drafted by the team, that team has to keep you on its active major league roster, or you revert back to the team that you came from.
These are active minor league players for the most part.
Yeah.
Active MLB players?
No, could mostly minor leaguers, but could potentially have some MLB service time, but then were removed from the 40-man roster. So there's all kinds of machinations there. These GM meetings are less focused around that, and they're more focused around like free agencies, trades, those types of things.
I was about to say, because it doesn't sound like this is like the best of the best happening in this draft. Would you guys agree?
No.
Sometimes
this is where we plucked Ryan Fernandez from.
You find the diamonds in the rough out there sometimes. But yeah.
All right, if you get back to your original question, the Cardinals, I was just reading the other day that the Cardinals outfield ranked last in the MLB on home runs hit. And so that's typically a position the outfielders usually bring some power. So that's something I would like to see. It doesn't necessarily, like, obviously, if you just see what's happening, Nolan Arenado, his name comes up across the league of like a trade situation.
Well, sure.
I don't necessarily, like we've talked before, need him to be. It's okay if we go get some prospects. Like the Orioles are really rich in the outfield. They're minor leaguers that have like 7 guys that are in their farm system that are either already there or at the top and like inside the MLB top 100 prospects are all Orioles outfielders. So some of them have some power. That's me. If I'm up there with Heim, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some outfielders.
And you know what's funny too is you say the Orioles and they just signed Tyler O'Neill, our old friend,
sure did.
The Cardinals, to it's like $50 million over 3 years, which is interesting because they have a log jam out there. So I wonder.
Yeah,
I kind of just wonder what sometimes these GMs or these teams, they make these decisions and you just really have no idea what they're doing.
Well, I think this is this is the Anthony Santander.
Well, that's true. I thought it'd be the Hurst-Jed guy that they're AAA. Anyway. So for us, Andy, I agree. If we're going to go get somebody or go sign some people or trade for some people, pieces like that, I wouldn't mind having that back in the deal. I think that this is going to be another one of these meetings where, like last year, it was all about Shohei. And I don't feel a lot happened, right? If you remember, if you recall, not a lot happened because it was all, Shohei. So now it's just going to flip to Soto. As Soto signs, I think that there's more that happens.
Yeah.
But it's like this move has to happen and then the dam will break and then everything else happens. But I really do think for us, we're going to be listening on Arenado. We're going to be listening on Helsley. I don't care what Mo has said, and we'll eventually get into that, I think. But we're going to listen on those two. And I think we ought to listen on Steven Matz, our pitcher, another pitcher, and Eric Fetty, just to see, is there something that we think we can get that's going to blow our socks off, like knock our socks off, where we want to do it. Because I don't want to force a younger guy into the rotation that's maybe not quite ready. Like they're not chomping at the bit, but I don't want to block these guys indefinitely. And if Fetty and Mats are not a part of your future plan, and you can get something for them that that's tolerable, I don't see why you wouldn't do it.
Matt? Yeah, I kind of wonder. We are obviously not going to be playing at the top of the ladder here. So as far as the Cardinals, and I don't really expect us just period to spend a whole lot in free agency. Everything they're talking about, what they're assuming is going to happen with ticket sales, we're going to talk about another Himes hire. So like all the minor league stuff they're doing, I think that's where the focus of the franchise is this year. So I think this is going to be one of those, it'll be unfulfilling, but it'll be Mo, who's still running the major league roster, Mo talking to teams about the aforementioned Arenado, Helsley, Fetty, Mats, things like that. More specifically on Helsley, this is a Mo quote from last Thursday in The Athletic. He said, "It's something we always remain open-minded to, but our plan is to have him," meaning Helsley, be part of our organization. So I agree. I do not think the franchise wants the bottom to fall out. I do not think we are going to put ourselves in a position on purpose for the bottom to fall out. But because of the Soto blockage and stuff like that, I don't think we're going to get down to the tier levels of free agents that the Cardinals are going to be into, unless, let me say this, and I'll see what you guys think about this. Unless Mo sometimes likes to jump the market and get in early on some like lower tier guys and be a little more aggressive with them. So I think that's possible, but I really don't expect the Cardinals to do. I don't even know that any trades to happen, honestly.
Mo's that guy that like walks into a new area, surveys the landscape,
and idea where this is going, and I'm excited about it.
doesn't go for the 10 and just is like settles for like it's a solid 7. Like I'm gonna get the second best looking girl on this group. I'm not going for the best looking girl. Okay. That's what Mo is. Mo's that guy.
Of all the places I thought you're going to take it, it wasn't there, and I'm okay with it.
It was not there. Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it.
I love a little misogyny twist. We enjoy that. Yeah.
I think Mo. I think everything they've talked about is they want these young guys to play, and the other part, I think, even the bigger part is they don't want to add any money. They don't want to add any money, and so last year, like to your point, Matt, where we added Lynn and Gibson before December even turned over on the calendar, we added those guys. I didn't think that was a bad idea, but it's because we weren't in on anybody else, right? Yamamoto at that time was out there, and you and I, Matt, were like clamoring for them to do that 12 months ago, and I think we could have, but it's just a different state. We're just in a different state right now when it comes to spending. But we'll see. Again, I did want to say this about the Helsley comment that has to be posturing from him, right? Like he does. Do you think he really believes that? Because if you tease that out, like, what is it? We sign that. What are we going to do? Are we going to sign him to a long-term contract after this year?
Probably not. And it makes so much more sense if this is his last year of his deal with us. Well, until he reaches free agency, the last year of his arbitration, this is the time to do it. If you wait, again, we've talked about this, but you take on all the risk. You risk him not being as good. We've discussed it on this pod. There are maybe some little warning signs that he's on the decline. So this is the time to do it. So I just think it's a way, the players are human beings too. That's a way to say, like, absolutely. We appreciate Ryan. We want him to be part of our organization. And then if a deal crops up, you take the deal and it's okay,
Yep. I think you're right. There's a little bit of loyalty there too. And I got to trust Mo a little bit here. He keeps saying about how he wants to leave the organization in a better place than he found it. And I don't think he's going to force a deal like, with Arenado. I don't think we're going to have to be paying like 80% of his salary. I don't think we're going to do something like that just to offload him. But if the deal is like, oh my gosh, they're going to give us something and we're not going to have to pay, then I could see them doing that. But
so Andy, to take it back to misogyny corner, I'm not even sure we're walking out of the winter meetings with a girl at all. I just think we're just playing. We're just like eyeballing and playing the field a little bit here. Yeah,
and for everyone, the Juan Soto, the 10.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
no,
can I just take 15 seconds on Juan Soto?
Oh, sure.
Is he really?
Shuffle
really
in here?
Really, I hate it. I hate
no.
Is he going to demand? Is he going to demand more than Shohei? Seriously, why?
Inflation.
He's younger.
Eggs are $5 a dozen, bro. Come on. You got
$5 dozen eggs.
800 million. Okay, million. I need it.
He's younger. He's 5 years younger than Ohtani.
He's younger, but if Shohei doesn't pitch like as a starting pitcher or is dominant again, Shohei might be the best hitter in the game and like an elite relief pitcher as well too. So I like you understand the dollar figure for Shohei. I just feel like with Soto, it's like we're talking about just an offensive player. I understand he's younger, like I get that. He was due for a mega contract, but when you see Shohei, it's like you can't compare him, can you?
No. Shohei's a much better player, but I just think the economics of how that works. And I mean, I was seeing like 15-year deals for Soto, and towards the end of that, that's going to be bad, but it's really only going to be the last maybe 2-3 years of it. The guy is he broke in so early and has reached his free agency so much earlier than most guys that it's crazy. I just hope you guys are ready to see him with some deferred money in Dodger blue because
oh man. At what point does Manfred pull the David Stern and veto the Kobe or the Chris Paul trade to LA, the Lakers? Is that what he did?
He did do that. I'm not even sure he has the veto power, but I get where you're coming from. It's just if that happens, it will have gotten to a completely ridiculous level.
Yeah. I agree. Sorry, that was my Soto take. I just keep seeing this stuff. Sure. It also just kind of drives me nuts that we can't like move on from this. Like, just sign somewhere, man.
Well, he said he's going to. I mean, soon, but you know how that goes.
No, I know. Well, Boris, it's probably more Boris. Don't you think?
It's not like they're waiting for teams to get. You know what I'm saying? These teams are like tripping over themselves to give him $750 million. Just pick your city, dude.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think as far as what we do I mean, maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. Maybe we'll come back next week on the pod and we've got 2 or 3 things to talk about, and that would be fun and interesting. But I don't think we'll be super active. Where we have been active is where we need to be active, and we're going to dip once again. We're going to be blooming again with Heim here, and so let me just read down quickly the full list of hires. And we've talked about some of these, but I just wanted to get this out there on the record for everybody. And then I've got a question for you guys to react to. So I start with Heim Bloom, who is from the Red Sox and Rays lineage, to kind of run the minor leagues of the Cardinals this year, and then to take over from Mo going forward after this year. And then you've got Rob Cerfolio, the player development guy from the Guardians. Brant Brown was a hitting coach from the Mariners. Matt Pierpont is going to be our minor league pitching coordinator, also from the Mariners. And now these next 2 guys are new. Larry Day, we hired to be our farm director, and he is the he worked in the Guardians system, which again, these are the right franchise names to be hearing.
Did you go on LinkedIn on any of these guys, Matt?
I did not LinkedIn anybody, no.
I need that every time now.
No, I did not. And then the last guy is Carl Koken, who is going to be our director of performance. He was in the Dodgers organization, and I should note, this director of performance is an entirely new position for the Cardinals to have. A lot of these big teams, smart team, like big money teams, they've got directors of performance. We have not. And so we brought old Carl in and whatever his LinkedIn resume is. And so here's my question. Are the Cardinals kind of doing, like, are we assembling the Avengers here? Are we doing this?
Well,
you know, where they're all like stepping through the portals from the smart teams, and they're here to fight Thanos.
I'm glad that Marvel decided that the Avengers names were better than Larry and Carl.
Well, sure.
But yes, the Avengers are assembling in the right way from the right teams. This is, again, we've said this, but I'll say it again. These are the right places to be picking from. This is the right kind of talent, the well to be going back towards. If we were hiring people from, like Miami or, one of the Chicago teams, no offense to the Cubs, they haven't been too bad. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, we are clearly seeking some of these younger guys from these just fantastic organizations that have constantly performed well on the field, and they have developed just talent after talent after talent. So I have nothing but praise here. And I'll tell you, the one thing I like the most about this is that these hires all come from the minor leagues. And you're probably thinking, why? Why do we care about that? I don't know about you guys, but anytime I've ever worked with someone who has recently received or wants to receive a promotion to move up in their job and comes from something lower than that, they are more motivated that I have seen, as opposed to like a lateral movement that's just MLB to MLB. These guys now have their shot to prove it in a legitimate organization with historical ties here. Like, this is one of the big organizations in the MLB.
Yeah, we are. Traditionally, yeah.
So I love that these guys are from the minors. I don't know why. I just really I appreciate we've done that.
Yeah. Andy, any Iron Man or Hulk takes here?
No, I mean, I'm just glad that the performance director speaks to the direction that the Cardinals are choosing. Right? We don't have one. We have one, and if that doesn't speak volumes of what Heim is trying to do, then that for person who can't name 3 Cardinals players right now because I haven't followed it, just know that this is the direction that the Cardinals should be taking, and it is a good thing that they are taking these steps.
Yep. So I don't want to take this totally off the rails, but I just was starting to think about this. Like we've got, the Avengers are assembled, where Hawkeye's over there shooting, like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And then I started thinking about like our run of success from, let's just say 2000 to the
Gas House Gang, bro.
2000. No. We'll go back to Ray Blades.
Yeah.
Like 2000, I don't know, the first 15, 16, 17 years of the 2000s, we were incredibly successful. Okay, so, but then though, like we've been alluding to it, the Dodgers are just a behemoth of spending, and the Mets are a behemoth of spending, and there are like 4, 5, 6 of these teams that these other teams just cannot match in revenue. Here's the tough question: how much is all this gonna matter? Like what's this working to you guys? Let's say all these guys hit, and we're tossing Loki around like Hulk was in the first Avengers movie. What's it look like for this to work? What's our reasonable expectations?
I think it's going to have to be like those teams that ride quarterbacks on their rookie deals before the big market teams can get a hold of them. So they sign them to like these entry level, and then you get these gems that come out, and you have to ride that success to where maybe your first year quarterback is like, oh, this guy's okay. And then by the third year, you're like actually going to compete for a Super Bowl. It would be that of baseball. Like these smaller market teams are going to have to do that. They're going to have to find 5, 6 guys that are like, oh, wow, before they can hit the open market free agency.
Yeah. And the thing for us too, I was just going to add to that, was we are in the middle. I mean, I guess we're technically St. Louis is a smaller market, but we will pay. We have proven that we will go out and pay. What this does is it allows us, Matt, I think you alluded to this a couple episodes ago, about those are the years when we pull up Joe Kelly, we'd pull up Carlos Martinez, Shelby Miller, I mean, Lance Lynn. I mean, if you look at our 2011 World Series, our most recent, I mean, Lynn was a rookie. We were just pulling these guys up left and right to sit next to our more established players. That is exactly what you would want to see. You would want to see somebody like, let's bring it to this year, Newt Barr actually become what we think he can be, like constantly producing. Same with Walker, or when Gorman comes up, we're over there just losing our minds because he hit 37 home runs his rookie year, and we're like, where was this guy at? And we just shoulder shrug and say it must be the devil magic. This is where you reinvest in the devil magic, I think.
Yeah. So this again is going to be unfulfilling to a lot of fans, because I think our biggest free agency signings this year have already happened. And I think they're happening in places that we are never going to see. But that's exactly it. To get that devil magic back, it's got to take stuff behind the scenes that we never see. And then when it comes through to fruition, like that's really fun. So is it reasonable to expect the Cardinal now, again, that like Dodgers, Yankees, Mets, like those teams, it's just a different world, and I doubt that it's going to change. But is it reasonable to expect the Cardinals to get back to like dominating the NL Central?
Oh, and like this year?
No, I'm sorry. Like, let's say this works in the next 3 or 4 years down the road. Are we back in our perch of we're always in the playoffs, we're always winning something like 90 games, or what I'm saying? Like we're back in the early 2000s era Cardinals.
If you were to ask me this 2 years ago, when we like picked up, Arenado, and Goldschmidt just won his MVP, and you were to ask, are we close to being, back to this just reign of terror over the NL and NL Central? I feel more confident about saying yes now than I would have 2 years ago, because we didn't have a foundation, or our foundation was cracking. You could kind of tell, right? These guys had flamed out who had come to the league. And now this is where you get a higher chance or a higher hit rate for these guys coming up here and contributing, so that you can just depend upon these younger guys to come up here. You're not paying them anything, Andy, to your rookie QB deal, right? You talk about any of these other people, you have this window. And when these guys come up and they're good and you're not paying them very much, you better go, pedal to the metal. And that is what St. Louis has to do. LA can always do that because they have the pocketbook, right? The Phillies can do it. Yankees, several other teams can do it. If we want to have a chance, this is the only chance, is to be successful in growing our home, just our talent that we draft, develop, bring them to the league. They're successful. If they eventually get poached away by dollars, there's nothing we can do about that, but we can maximize their time when they're here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, to your point, I mean, the Cardinals do have a payroll that allows them to, well, not Goldschmidt and Arenado didn't come up with us, but allows us to have a couple of stars. Sign Pujols to the first big contract,
Oh
sign
yeah.
Waino to a big enough contract. Like we are not the Pirates where they're just, it's just like how long until Skeens gets traded. That must be demoralizing as a fan
Yeah.
base. No offense to the Pirates. I honestly, besides the fact that we're in the same division of them, I wish they would be better sometimes.
Yeah. In
But
2024, by the way, we're number 11 out of 30 and
Yeah.
in our
Payroll.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah,
Just
so
shy of
there
180
is
million.
some muscle there. So we are what I think is reasonable. I do not think it's reasonable to think that the Cardinals are going to be like 100-win monster all the time. But I think it is reasonable if these things work in 2 years, 3 years, that we should own NL Central, unless the Cubs ever wake up and like get smart and like really start spending like the Cubs could. They worry me quite a bit, actually.
Yep.
But unless they ever figure it out, like we should. And obviously sometimes there will be a team, the Brewers, the Pirates have been good before, win the Central every single year. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's reasonable to expect us to get back to that. If not, we're not going to be the super team kind of team, but I think we
No.
can get back to dominance. I do.
Think about for how many years the Cardinals were the blueprint. Think about that.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Jeff Lunau, we reference him. He was the leader of everything for a while. He drafted a lot of our really good players in the late 2000s
Well,
on that
worked for
run.
Mo,
Worked for Mo, right,
but
right, right.
to your point, is an outside voice that had
Yes,
different thoughts
but
and did
yeah,
a lot of the drafting.
and
To
then
your point, yeah,
he went down. He left with us, and he went to Houston. Houston became a juggernaut. Why? He took a lot of what he was doing in St. Louis, took it down there, and
and
you
they were beating
see
on trash cans.
they were drumming on trash cans. Ain't no doubt about that. But you can't deny Altuve and Bregman and
Yeah,
They're
Springer
good.
and Correa.
Right.
They were all good, right? But like, let me bridge this in another way. If you look at the Brewers have become what we were. Okay, right?
yeah.
Willie Adames just signed with the Giants, and I can promise you, the Brewers
See you
aren't going
later,
to feel it.
Willie. See
Yeah,
ya.
yeah. Seriously, we're not. They're not going to feel that he's gone at all because that's what the Cardinals used to do when people would leave or they'd be hurt. You just wouldn't even matter because you'd see old Skip
Yep.
Schumacher come in. You're like, what the heck is this? And he'd be fine. It's the same thing about the Brewers. They have a model where they can just churn in players and they don't have to spend $189 million or whatever it was, 83 on Willie Adames. They just have another guy that's going to come up. So that is what we can hope to become again with these moves. And I agree, Matt, we may not be this 100-win juggernaut, but we are going to be competitive. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, so Andy, let me ask one more question about this kind of state of the franchise stuff, and let me set it up like this. So recently, like after COVID, the state of the world economy was in a weird place, and so inflation got really high, and so they were trying to like mess with the interest rates, and I kept saying, sorry, excuse me, I kept seeing the phrase they want a soft landing, like they want to bring inflation down.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to kill a bunch of jobs and make unemployment shoot
Yep.
through the roof. So they're trying to thread the needle and get the soft landing. Can the Cardinals get the soft landing they're looking for? I feel like what we're trying to do is continue to be competitive. And who knows, maybe everything goes great and we're competitive in the division in 25, and yet still like do much better down the road. So can we do both things? Can we field a competitive team and still, thread the needle to the better future? Do you think we can handle that?
You remember when the 76ers in Philly were like, trust the process, right? That became their
Yeah.
motto.
Yeah.
I think that to the casual fan, we need a little bit of that, like to have clear direction of where we're going to go. If that's what we're going to do, and like, hey, trust this guy. We need the St. Louis Cardinals need to think of some marketing spiel, because I'm telling you right now, there's several Cardinals fans that would have a Cardinal logo on their detail of their car or something, that, hey, would you identify as a Cardinals fan? Yeah. Can't name 3 Cardinals players. And that is a tough look for people. Because sports is this interesting thing of, one of the things that entices people are the stories of the people, the players themselves, is an aspect, the social aspect that people like. And if they can't name anybody, then it's just this faceless amalgamation of people out and they don't really care at that point. And so I hope, in my opinion, what I'm seeing from my end, the people I'm around, is if they want to pull off the soft landing, they need to do a 76ers trust the process. Hey, let's note these players to look out for, kind of like what we've been trying to do.
The 76ers were terrible.
Oh,
Terrible
for years though. That's what I'm getting at. It's
I
like
don't know.
I don't think we're trying to like kind of have our cake and eat it too. We are saying we're going to take a step back, we're going to focus on the young guy. We are saying that. But I don't think the Cardinals are going to go out there and win 57 games. Like there's nobody in the franchise that wants that. So can we do this? Can we thread this needle where we don't have to do what the 76ers did, although they built long term and they stumbled into Embiid. And, I take your point as far as that goes. So, Jonathan, do you think can we get the soft landing? Can we thread the needle?
I just think from baseball terms, we have to be careful we don't go full Colorado Rockies or like full Los Angeles Angels, meaning you like sometimes go out and sign Chris Bryant to this huge contract for the Rockies when you clearly don't need to do that. You have no direction. You're rudderless. You're just kind of, sometimes you spend money, sometimes you don't. Yes. So as long as we don't get caught in this. Yes. Like here's another one. The Mets owner, Steve Cohen, he's been like such a breath of fresh air to be like this uber wealthy guy who just tells it exactly what's going to happen. Yep. He said last year, we may not be very good. But it's because we signed these contracts to be good. And if we are good, great. That's awesome. If not, I hope you still come to the ballpark. That kind of communication, just like in your trust the process. I get what you're trying to say there. Yes. It's the same idea as say, listen, just as long as we don't get into this, well, we do think we're competitive. We do think we're competitive. And it's like, listen, your third best starter is like Lance Lynn. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff we have to be really careful that we don't get into that. And I feel confident that we won't, because it's not going to be Mo making the shots. And I don't mean that to be like a dig at him. But I think Heim is just a different person. And I think that he is going to be, I hope, wise enough to not get us in this gray area, this middling ground. Either tear it down a little bit if you don't see a good direction, or if you feel like you have some players to build around, then let's try to build around them. I don't know if that.
Yep.
Yeah. Andy, go
clear
ahead.
Direction. No. Yeah, that's it. The clear direction of like, are we rebuilding? Are we not? Yeah. Just some transparency, some honesty. We're in the heart of the Midwest. This is the good old boys territory. Like, just be the good old boy and tell us, be an adult and just have an adult conversation. And no one wants to go support a 40-win team, but Matt, I don't think that we are going to be a 40-win team. I think that there's going to be a couple of years of mediocrity here where we're right here in the 70s and 80s until we get lucky, because it's really hard to be really good at a professional level and any level of sports. And so let's hope for that. Let's hope for some 80-win teams, and then we get lucky and hit a couple high 90 win seasons.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, as I'm thinking about this, we've been talking about like the best case scenario, which is really a lot of fun to do. So what's like, if that's 80 times?
This is what I was just getting ready to say. Like what my fear is. What's the worst
fear?
Case
scenario? Yeah.
What's 60 wins.
Well,
continually or like,
My fear is this. My fear is like if you give the case for pessimism here, the case for pessimism is we go ahead and we do the deals we're talking about. We trade Arenado, we trade Helsley, we get rid of some of these names. Mm-hmm. And to Andy's point, as far as casual fans goes, that's going to hurt ticket sales. It is. And the Cardinals are heavily dependent on that. And so what I think scares me is the end of the last season last year shows that Cardinals fans, they're great fans, but they will stop coming to the games. Yeah. Busch will look empty. It will be empty. And my fear is like we kind of do this rudderless, weird thing and nobody pops. And so then we have no money to like go and sign we can't get Goldschmidt anymore. We can't get Arenado anymore, because financially we're not able to shoulder that kind of burden. And so that would be if you're doing like a post-mortem on this, like why didn't it work, like a hypothetical, I think that's it, is like nobody pops and the fans don't come back in the 3 million groves that they used to come all the time. And we're a different franchise financially. And that's a little bit scary to me.
So are you saying in 20 years, the Cardinals may or may not be in St. Louis, and you're pessimistic?
You got to stop that. You got to. We are not moving to Louisville. I wish that I could go back. Of all the episodes I could go back, I wish I could have reacted better to that in real time, because that is the single most insane thing that anybody said.
No, that's what you're saying. That's your pessimism right there.
No,
there it is.
I'm not. No.
He's on an island all by himself.
What do you guys think about that fear? Like, what is that?
I was gonna say the only like I agree with you. If there's gonna be a worst case scenario, it's you invest all this money into the minor leagues and it doesn't work. But here's the thing: what are the proof points to where that does not work? What other teams have done this where it doesn't work? And I'm not trying to flip this to be positive again, because I agree with you. If there's going to be a negative, it's that these guys don't pop. But the most successful teams in the league hire and spend on the minor leagues. That's what they do. So again, I think if you couple that and then Mo is on his way out. So this is new leadership, new change. I really, really don't think that's going to happen. But I'm trying to think like to amplify. Is there anything else that would be terrifying other than just like Gorman continuing to be terrible, right? Wynn taking a big drop, and we have nobody to market, right? Like nobody to come to the ballpark for us. Like, because right now it's probably Mason Wynn, it's probably Newt Barr, it's probably Donovan, but those are not like, I don't know.
Excuse me. On the down low, I think that so much of what the three of us have experienced in our lives as Cardinal success, I still think it comes down to Albert Pujols. It's like we got this guy and he's an incredible Hall of Fame talent and he pushed our franchise so far up. And then he left in 2011. And so we had all the supporting pieces to help him win titles, right? They did things and made trades. And then from 2011, it was just a long, slow decline of without Albert. And so, like, what happens if we can't make a superstar? I don't know. That's the one thing about this. That's the hardest thing that there is to do in sports is like manufacture a superstar. And that's exactly what we need to do. I think we're building the team. I think the Avengers are there, but it still has to happen. And it doesn't happen all the time.
Nope.
The only team I can think of, like just off the top of my head, who has done this and been successful without a superstar is the Brewers. Who's their superstar? It's Churio at some point, Jackson Churio probably. But if you look at every other playoff team in the NL off the top of my head, Mets, they have him. Lindor, Alonso-ish. The Dodgers, we don't need
They'll get some like Yelich years though. William
Contreras I guess.
Go nuts. They
I guess that's true. By committee,
it sort of, right?
They're kind of by committee. And I was thinking in the AL, like who is it? Is the Guardians? Their rise to prominence has been like how it's very random. But they have Jose Ramirez, who's insanely underrated. Right? So to your point, there is probably some truth to that you have to have like a superstar or like superstar by committee to really be relevant, and you need the random guys to pop. So yeah, that's kind of terrifying to think about.
I've been optimistic this whole offseason, and I remain optimistic, but I just got to thinking about the winter meetings and these hires and all this stuff and like the state of the franchise. And I just started thinking like, well, okay, what if it doesn't work? Where would that happen? And I don't want to end this segment on a bummer, but I mean, there is a reality though, where all of our optimistic talk and all these hires and us doing the right things, and we still are middling.
Yeah, I mean, in Heim we trust. I hope, and in JJ Weatherholt we trust. Like these some of these prospects, like just pop off for me, pal. One good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I do remain optimistic about our future. I think we are doing the right things, but I just thought that would be a good conversation to have about the tough spot that we're in and the way that we need to navigate out. So we'll take a break here and flip it over to a little advanced metrics segment.
Welcome back, and let's take you to school. So we have a couple of metrics that baseball fans like to. I liken it to this. Any job you work in, there's some type of accountability of how well you're doing in this, right? Regardless, a school teacher, whatever Jonathan does.
I'm thinking of the Staples ones right now. Tips.
Just yearly reviews. Man. There's just some way to make it a metric of how well are you doing compared to your peers, right? And these next two things that we're going to cover is trying to quantify just that. It's WAR. And we're not talking about what's happening between Russia and Ukraine.
Good.
WAR is talking about wins above replacement. And it simply is a statistic to measure a player's overall contribution to their team in terms of a win. So what this means is that let's talk about the replacement part first. So this is the hypothetical replacement level player is either a person who's riding the bench right now. Okay. Like I did in 5th grade for Matt's 8th grade team when I watched him break his wrist and slide into second. Or
That is
maybe
true. Yes.
a minor league call up, right? That's what the replacement is, right? You're either a bench player. That's who that is. Okay. And so there's a few different ways that they calculate this. Obviously, the performance of the player, both offensively and defensively, as well as a minor tweak for their position that they play. So in baseball, catchers, pitchers, shortstops, center fielders are all valued a little bit more than first base, third base, left and right field. Like there's just more to their position to do. And so therefore slightly more valued when it comes to the defense portion. So what do they look at? What is WAR? What are we looking for? So offensively, so you're at the plate, they're going to be looking at basically your production in terms of batting average. How many runs are you hitting in, like RBIs? How many people are scoring when you're up at the plate? Home run percentage, slugging percentage, stolen bases. Also, though, your base running is also factored in. So all of this, as well as defense. So their fielding range and how many errors are they committing in the season? And like I said, the position that they play. What this means is if you have a WAR of, let's say, 2, okay, that means that your team wins 2 extra games with you versus if someone else. Let's say Matt and I are playing and I have a WAR of 2 and Matt has a WAR of 0 or 1. That means that
Sounds about right. Yeah.
The Cardinals are winning 2 more games because I'm playing instead of Matt, whereas they would have only won 1 game. Okay. So that is what it quantifies. So let's just give you an idea of how this rates. Like, what does a rating mean? Give you some substance here. 1 WAR is typically what a replacement level player is over 162 games, which is the length of a season. If you're a 2 to 3 WAR guy, you're a solid starter. You're a good everyday player. Okay. You're solid. You're giving your team 2 to 3 extra wins a year just because of you playing. That's the only reason why you played. Your team wins 2 to 3 extra games. If you're 4 to 5, we're talking now your star players are an all-star. If you're an all-star, you're seeing guys with 4 or 5 WAR. If you're 6 or higher, we're talking MVPs. We're talking Hall of Famers, the elites guys. So that is what WAR is. It is, again, it's useful because it says how good is this guy? And a 4 WAR guy they're saying this guy is good enough to by himself win 4 games. That he's the difference in 4 games a season.
You know, it's a perfect, like, weird WAR example, or maybe a good one for this is so Michael Ciani, our center fielder this last year, was a positive WAR player. I think it was, I don't have it in front of me, it was almost 2 WAR, or he was close to it. And if you watched him and you understand now what Andy's gone through, you're thinking, how does he have positive WAR? He didn't hardly do anything at the plate. He was basically a 0. Well, that's because he plays a premier defensive position in center field, and he was one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. So that's where this tallies both sides. So if you're a negative hitter, but you're such a good defender, you can still have a positive impact on your team, and that shows that through this ripple of being good on defense, right?
Absolutely.
Now, what I like about stuff like this is I will probably say something like this each time we do one of these advanced metric numbers is what all I feel like this is trying to put a number, as Andy said earlier, like quantify what people say all the time. They are always trying to figure out how good players are, and they'll just say in casual conversation, "Oh man, that guy can really field, but he's got no stick at all."
Yeah.
You know, or that guy is a monster at the plate, but man, he's terrible in right field, right? So these are just ways for us to quantify this guy is really, really, really valuable to his team, and this guy is less valuable. And here's where his strengths are, and here's where his weaknesses are. And I really love this kind of stuff. I think there are some people out there who think that this like takes all the arguments out of baseball. Like, would you rather have this guy or this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's just go look at their WAR. You know, we'll just pop it into a computer and we'll come out with a perfect team. I mean, I think that certainly helps to look at the WAR. It would be stupid not to see their value, but that doesn't mean that it's like gospel all the time. That it's like their DNA and you can't do anything to change it. So
it also helps unmuddy those people who well, they see a player, maybe they go to a game themselves, right? They're in the flesh and they see a person walk it off. And so in their mind, you have you went to that game and this guy is like,
that guy won the game.
He won the game.
Yeah.
that helps weed some of that out as well. Like on the flip side of like not getting rose tinted glasses of like, this guy's great. Well, he has some big moments, but actually,
the guy who made the diving catch in center field in the third inning also won the game.
Yep. And I think WAR is a good stat to look at, to review a year as well too. Like when you're watching baseball, I think the Cardinals broadcasts have started to put the players' active WAR like next to their batting average and that kind of stuff towards the end. And it's almost sort of misleading because you look at that and you're like, what the heck is 0.8 WAR? We're in like the 30th game. So you kind of have to take it as a bit of a grain of salt during the season. You can kind of start to just like with averages or any other statistic that you look at, it grows over time or it reduces over time. You know, there's peaks and valleys with WAR, but if you go back and you think about like some of the peak Albert Pujols season, we talk about this. He clipped a couple 10 WAR seasons.
Yeah, crazy.
We're
talking Andy only got up to 6 or 7 was in Hall of Fame. We're talking 10 here. So you can, again, just like Matt said, this gives you a quantification of how good somebody really is. I just think it's kind of confusing when you go through and you're like, wow, Pujols or whatever, he only has 3 WAR and it's the 60th game. It's just hard to understand what that is, I think, until the end.
Well, and another statistic that is nice for that is another one is weighted runs created plus. So if you see this on a stat sheet, it's going to say W, lowercase w, capital R, capital C plus. And I like this one as well because it, you know how some ballparks, people who I definitely know this as a casual fan, but some may not. Some ballparks, not every ballpark is the same. I think Matt can attest to this, that he's been to a few, and so is Jonathan.
This turns out each ballpark is a different place. Yes.
Imagine that.
Right? It is. So, yep, I can confirm.
But not only that, the dimensions are different. There is no cookie cutter. It's got to be this. Each field is different, and that's kind of crazy because football, is it like that? No,
you're right. Basketball,
soccer,
you're right.
Basketball, oh yeah, all of them. You're right. All the other
none
ones.
of them are. So it's kind of crazy that there are 30
I don't know if I've ever thought about that before. Honestly, that sounds so stupid for me to say right now, but I never have thought about that before. You're right.
Yeah.
So each ballpark has this, they start to tend to lean one way or the other in terms of how people quantify that is they'll say it's a pitcher's field or it's a hitter's field. Right. And so this next one, what this is weighted runs created plus. And what that does is it helps you see through some of that, those ballpark differences. It adjusts for that. So that if you see this metric, it is the same no matter if you play at Fenway with the big green monster or you're playing with Houston with the weird center field that like rises up and trips up the center fielder, or, you know what I mean? Like it levels the playing field. If you're 120 in this metric, you're 120 no matter where you play. It's not because, he just hits in the hitter's ballpark.
Right.
So what this is, it's offensive, right? So it's on base percentage. How often when you go up to the plate, are you on the base after you're done on your plate appearance? Your slugging percentage. So slugging is singles, doubles, triples, home runs. Each one's weighted a little bit differently. Walks, strikeouts, pretty much your overall hitting efficiency is what this metric is. And again, it weights it, adjusts it because there's 30 different playing fields out there. So a baseline is 100. If you have a 100, you are truly, literally the average, meaning that you are the most average league player. That is who you are. Okay. If you're above 100, that means you're performing better. So let's actually give an actual number. So let's say that Brendan Donovan is 110 on weighted runs created plus. So that means that he is 10% better than the league average. Okay. Yep. He is 10% better at getting people home, scoring a run than the average player is. Conversely, if you're a 90, that means that you're creating 10% less runs than the average player. So I just like this because you could just look at it and it doesn't matter if player A is hitting in a hitter friendly ballpark and player B is in a pitcher friendly. If you see a 101, he's a 101 no matter where he goes. It's a 101. Or if he's 120, it doesn't matter if he's playing for the Padres or for the Reds. It doesn't matter where he's at. He is that number. He is creating 1% more, 20% more runs. That's a nice thing to look at.
That's a beautiful balance too, as well. I was going to say, like, when you talk about like the Rockies, they always have these crazy hitters. like, Arenado was touted as a crazy home run hitter back in Colorado, and he did some damage, but it's the altitude. But then if you throw this on top of it here, it kind of takes all of those other elements out of it and just sets a baseline across the board.
Yeah, I think that people they're used to the stats. Again, there's another numbers thing. Baseball's always been about numbers. 500 home runs, 3,000 hits, right? It just is. There're just a lot of at bats. There's a lot of instances. You can accumulate statistics, right? So I think people are used to things like batting average, number of home runs, number of RBIs, right? Those were the big three things I remember when the three of us were growing up playing video games, and that's what they would flash up: average, home runs, and RBIs. And you still see those things when they're on the screen at baseball games too. But like, if you really break down what is an offense trying to do, they're trying to create runs. So weighted runs created plus. I mean, you did a great job explaining both of these. I love this too, because you compare it both to other players in the league, and it doesn't matter what stadium is at. And what are we really trying to do? We're really trying to create runs. That's the most important thing. And one thing I was just going to say about this is I think it's kind of interesting that there are different ways to get to, creating runs. Like Brendan Donovan's, did you look it up? It said 110, because I looked him up and it said 115.
I would just give him an example.
Oh, you were really close. So I looked him up. He's at 115. So the way he gets to 115 with a pretty good average and very good on base and not a ton of power, you can have another guy that's batting like 195, but when he makes contact, it's always going over the fence, and he may be 115 weighted runs created plus. And so you like take two different guys, and you're like, who's a better hitter? Well, now you can kind of tell, you know what I mean? Like, there is a number that you can use.
It's an accountability.
Two very different hitters, and one guy's slugging his way there and is striking out, and the other guy is just like a
slapping
hitter,
it. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating too. Just this, my last thought on these two is these are really common advanced metrics that you see. Like you'll even hear like Chip Carey or these guys on the broadcast. If you watch them, they will refer to WAR, or they'll bring up WRC plus. Yeah. And so it does help to have at least a baseline understanding of these things. But now that if the listener, if you do get these things, if you go back and look at like the top WAR seasons from all of Major League Baseball, or the top seasons of WRC plus, you will be blown away at the list and like what these guys have done. And I just got to mention one guy that blew me away specifically.
Oh, I'm about to pop quiz you guys here.
Okay. Here's the one I got. Roger Clemens blew me away on this list more than anybody else. And you're probably thinking, why Roger Clemens, right? Steroids, all that kind of stuff with him. But he was insane. Like if you look, there's several pitchers on the top 10 of the entire in the history of Major League Baseball, like Gaylord Perry and some of these guys. But you got to remember, like back in the 20s, their heaters were like 87. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like and the hitters maybe weren't as good. Like Clemens played in the era juice, right? Everybody was hitting well. These guys were insane at that time, but he posted multiple 10 plus, even 11 plus WAR seasons. And I don't know why. I guess I just didn't realize how dominant that he was for as long as he was. Like he was 8th overall in WAR. I don't know why. I just literally could not believe that.
The old Rocket. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I looked up the Cardinals WAR from 2024, and I'm wondering, let's do it this way. Can you guys name the top 4 Cardinals by WAR? And if you say the name and they're in the top 4, I'll just say what their WAR was. Now let's keep in mind the scale here for the listeners. So like 1 to 2 WAR is like a starter. 3 to 4 is like a good starter. 4 to 5 is all-star, and then 6 and up is MVP. So, okay, guys, hit me with it. Who's your top 4?
Wilson Contreras.
Wilson Contreras did not play enough to accumulate that much WAR.
Okay.
So was good when he was there, but just didn't play enough games.
100%. Here's one for you: is Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn is the top position player, so he's number 2 on the team, and I just gave you a big hint there. But he's at 3.6 WAR.
3.6.
Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray, number 1, 3.8 WAR. Bang.
Ryan Helsley.
Not on there. Nope. Got 2 more position players.
Too bad, because he's a relief pitcher, right?
Yeah,
he saved 49
Not enough innings.
Brendan Donovan.
Brendan, the general, riding in at number 3, 3.2 WAR. And finally,
it's not Burleson. He was too low.
Not Burleson. Nope.
It's Newt.
Yeah,
he's gobbling. Nope. He's gobbling.
He's gobbling. Oh, it's old Nato, baby.
It is Turkey Arenado himself coming at 3.1 WAR. So that goes to show, like, not as good on offense, but the defense really popped back. And the last thing I was going to say on WAR here real quick is all those Cardinals are in the 3 range. So that just does not define what our whole team was.
I know.
Like we all just had some pretty good everyday starters. Nobody was like a star.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
I did the same thing. Can you get the top 3 in weighted runs created plus real quick? Did the same thing over here.
Donovan has to be on there.
Donovan is third at 115.
Okay.
Yes.
I bet Arenado's up there.
Arenado was 100. This
wow.
is so perfect. So Arenado
100.
was a flat out average hitter in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Yeesh.
Yep.
Ouch.
When?
Yep. Win not on there.
Goldie
102, not in the top 3, but 102. So that, if anything in the world, you want to tell me what the 2024 St. Louis Cardinals were, our 2 best hitters were league average. That was it. Our 2 biggest name hitters were league average.
Burleson.
Yeah. Nope, not Burley.
Let's see who else we got here. Willie.
You need to be thinking about catchers. Wilson Contreras was number 1 at 140 weighted runs created. So he's 40% better than the average hitter in Major League Baseball, and another catcher.
Oh, Mr. Ivan Herrera.
127.
Yeah.
So like when Willie's moving to first base and you're scratching your head, that's because there's a guy sitting there with a 127, like 27, right? We got to see what Ivan's got. We do. He's got to play.
And now you see why modern baseball, when you look at these things, why they do, right? What they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing these things not
also
because
why they do. Yes.
Why they do. Right.
That's it.
It's very clear. Very clear.
Yeah, that was fun. You guys are pretty good. Yeah.
Are you guys done with school? Are we done with school?
I mean,
we're talking. I'm talking to 2 teachers. We're never done.
There are days on the calendar, but I don't know how much academic. I mean, we will be there. Yes, we will be there, continuing to learn for 2 more weeks.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move into the next segment, and you're gonna imagine me bringing in. I'm the substitute teacher, and I'm rolling in the Fatback TV.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
The Fatback TV. So
got to
be shout out to grade school. Shout out to grade school. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly right. Okay. So in this segment, we are going to list or go through our list of top Christmas movies. The calendar has turned over to December. My Christmas tree's up. I'm assuming you guys have them up.
Yep. 2. Are you kidding me? 2 Christmas trees up in my house. Yeah.
Well, if I could only be that good one day to have 2. I only have 1. Okay. So again, we're in December. So when we're talking December, you don't really have, like in the other holidays, you have Halloween movies. You don't have Thanksgiving movies. That's kind of weird. But you have Christmas movies. Okay.
You do.
So I have 3. You guys can have more than 3 if you want.
I have 3.
3. Matt, how many you got?
I will say, I'm just going to say 3. And it's a little more complicated than that, but
I was going to say 3. There can be like an honorable
One's
mention.
a sequel. It's a sequel.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 3. We're going to start with number 3, each of us.
Okay. Yep.
And then we'll all end on number 1. So
since
I brought this up, I'm the teacher. I'm the sub here. Okay. I'm going to start with you, Andy. Who's your number 3?
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey edition.
That's number 3?
That's number 3.
Oh. Gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I got some. I mean, for me, the number 2 is gonna blow your mind, but 1.
You guys are not gonna be happy with this because the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey edition, is not in my top 3 at all.
Oh man,
I put the cartoon Grinch as my 3rd.
Okay.
I do. There's just something about that. Something about that animation. I realize it's old.
Yep.
I don't hate the Jim Carrey one. I really don't. Like, I like it fine too, but there's just something about that. Whoever that guy is that sings that solo is like, here's a mean one.
Yeah.
He's just really getting after it too.
I hope that's just how he sounds everywhere in life.
I hope so too. He's like, I wouldn't touch him with a 39.5-foot pole. Like, it's just, there's just something about that just got down in my soul. It's Christmas, man. It is.
Okay. So Andrew, you said the Grinch, and Matt, you said the Grinch, right? Just 2 versions.
I did. Yes. The animated Grinch. Yeah.
All right. So my 3rd one is The Empire Strikes Back. Number 3, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. You're probably thinking, Jonathan, that's not a Star Wars movie. You ever been to Hoth?
Okay.
Hoth is Christmas to me. Okay. So every year.
Is this all going to be just all Star Wars?
It's not. It's not. It's the only one.
No.
It's the only one.
The Empire Strikes Back is not a Christmas movie.
It is. It is
the same way that people with Die Hard do.
Pause. What is a Christmas movie? Does it have to have Christmas in it, or is it Christmas themed? What's a Christmas movie?
This is a Christmas movie to me.
Yours just has snow in it.
It does, but I watch it every Christmas. What do you want from me?
I mean, I can understand it. I mean, I think that's it. I think that each person quantifies.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. What screams Christmas more than Darth Vader doing his thing to Luke and all of that. Like that's family. Come on,
I
there's
cannot
family
believe you put
ties.
me. Can't believe you put me in a position where I have to say something about Star Wars because I love Star Wars. But this
Sure.
is just not a Christmas movie. This is
I'll tell you.
insane.
I'll
It's all
tell
right.
you,
That's all
Jonathan.
right.
Here's what it is. My number
Go ahead.
2 is better than that. It
All
is
right.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964 claymation.
Claymation.
so-
That's my number 2 too. That's my number 2.
Oh my gosh! There
Wow.
we
Okay.
go.
All right. All
Yeah,
right. The
that one
claymation.
screams. If I think
Okay.
of Christmas, to me, it is that movie. Okay,
it.
minus my number 1. But
That's my
it.
number 1 also. Yeah.
Is that what you think, Matt? Too?
I think so too. Yes, I
That
think
movie's great.
There's something about that claymation that's both like because it's the '60s, but even now it's still like fascinating and repulsive at the same time. Like there's
Yes, it
something
is.
about how they move, and you're just like, ew, gross, but I can't stop watching this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course there's like what's the name of the pickaxe guy? Cornelius, what's his name?
He's so funny.
Something. Yeah. No, I don't.
So
Cornelius.
creepy.
Now, I will say this: what it is that Luke fights in the Empire Strike Back in the Hoth Ice Cave is also in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, the Wampa. And
Yeah.
same filming strategies, stop motion was used to make
true.
the
Oh,
Rudolph
you're right.
movie, as well as
You're
the Tauntauns moving and the
All right.
ET.
Okay, you're still not getting me with that, but
All right,
sure.
Anyway. Okay. All right. My number 2 is Home Alone 2.
Mm.
Home Alone 2. Okay. And
New York.
I thought why 2 and not 1? Okay. In the second one, what's the boy's name? Macaulay Culkin. What's his name in this?
Kevin.
Kevin. I just
Kevin!
watched Kevin. He literally tries to kill these two in the second one.
Yeah, he does.
Like, okay, we're messing with him in the first one, but there's like this is like premeditated murder in the second one. And the funniest part, this is the one that kills me every time. When Marv is down in the basement and he goes to grab on to the faucets, and this kid is literally 3 feet from him and turns that like electric thing on, like the generator, and like continues to turn it up like whilst he's dying. And he's like screaming at an octave that no one can get to, and then just turns to bones for a second.
Yep.
Yes,
And then he
does.
turns
He
it
sure
off,
does.
and Kevin just runs upstairs, and Marv's just dead down there. So that just absolutely kills me.
That's
Bobby.
a great one.
Yeah, what's your one? What's
to
number
follow
one?
up is indeed the original OG Home Alone.
Okay.
For me.
Why the first one, not the second one?
I mean, when I personally think of Christmas, I think of watching that movie. That is the movie that comes to mind, followed up by the Rudolph one. But that one it brings up warmth. I don't know, like a coziness, kind of like eating mashed potatoes and like mac and cheese. That Home Alone is mac and cheese and mashed potatoes for me.
Yeah. Matt, what's your number 1?
Andy, I don't know how it could have been more locked because I put Home Alone. Well, I just went ahead and put Home Alone 1 and 2 together in the top spot.
That's fair.
But if you made me like at gunpoint select one of those, I am going to take Home Alone 1, and I do have a couple reasons for it. Number one, I prefer the old weird guy with the shovel being the adult hero as to no shots at the lady with her pigeons, but I just prefer old guy with the shovel over her.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna say this. There's something about watching that movie as a kid. They just did such a great job with the conceit of that film because you as a kid have just like horrendous fears of being left home alone. They actually do that to that kid in the movie. And then after he kind of but this kid doesn't do it like that. He's just like, this is going to be great. So there's that scene where he is just smoking junk food like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And that is like every kid's dream. And then I think personally, I think even more than like all the Rube Goldberg like destructive devices that Kevin comes up with to kill Harry and Marv. I think my favorite scene is the pizza guy scene.
Oh,
where he's got the movie playing and he like tape records it. He's like, get out of here, you filthy animal. And there's like shooting up the car. And that's so great.
He runs away.
It's so great.
Can we I love that we haven't mentioned this, but you guys, both parents, how horrible are his parents in both of those movies? Specifically the dad.
I mean, the first one is, that has a lot of kids, right? And they were taking the cousins on the first one, right?
Yeah. But I think they did it both times, didn't they?
And they had that kid, like they had the oldest one do a head count, right? The oldest daughter.
No, I could see that one. I could see that.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The first check, the first level, like that's stuff happens, but the continual not noticing that Kevin is around at some point becomes like, oh, okay, this is just movie stuff.
Well, here's the thing. This can't even happen anymore because either your kids are small enough that you're literally like holding their hand, strapping them in the car, or your kids are old enough and they have a device and
Mm-hmm.
they're just not gonna get left home. They're gonna send you a text and be like, it's just
Yep.
impossible for this to happen
I
anymore.
thought we're gonna get into socioeconomic status here that like you just can't have that many
Yeah.
children anymore. This is not possible in America.
Five
Sorry,
Well,
no
dollar.
no,
thanks.
now they give you a reality show. So,
Yeah, yeah. I just think it's so
aspirations.
funny. The dad, whenever they're on the plane in the first one, I think they're going to Paris. And she's like, I just feel like I forgot something. He's like, it was the garage. That's what it was. It's like
Yeah.
just no thought at all, like critical thinking and all. He's like, it was definitely the garage. And then in the second one, they find him. The mom goes through all this stuff and finds him. 3 seconds later, immediately runs outside to go talk to that lady in Central Park. Right. I just,
Runs away from her.
and then he's irritated about the bill, the itemized room service bill. Like
Yes,
obviously
yes,
he's
yes.
upset, but it's just the mom,
Yeah.
you can tell like she's tore up about it. The dad, every time like they find Kevin, they're like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
run on along now. I'm good now.
Okay, you guys are not prepared for this
Kills me.
at all, and we'll
All right.
get to Jonathan's number one, but
Yep.
not prepared for this at all. Here's what I need you to do. I just need you to scan through in your mind all the things that happened to Harry and Marv.
Okay.
Okay, just all the things. I'm gonna 3, 2, 1, and you guys say the name of the wet bandit that got it worst in those movies.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who it is
Oh,
you think got it
easy.
worst between the
Easy.
two of those?
All right. All
Okay.
right. Are we counting down?
All
Matt?
right,
You do
ready?
it.
Here we go.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Marv.
It's got to be Marv.
Easy. Marv gets it.
Marv
What's
is
the word?
like stapled in the man zone and the butt cheeks. Marv, like so bad. Oh man, poor Marv.
Blowtorch to skull.
Blowtorch his skull. He gets the iron in the
Iron.
face.
It's the bricks in the second one. He throws bricks off that thing for 2 straight minutes, and Harry's like, throw another one. And Marv's like, I can't take another one. Exact same spot. Just
Yeah.
oh, it's Marv.
Oh man,
He was going for Marv.
I
That's
don't
right.
know who came up with that idea, or that was
That's a
just
good
they
one.
just knocked that completely out of the park. They just crushed it.
I think Joe Pesci, who plays Harry, was probably like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting hit in the face with a brick multiple times. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, Marv, you're the only other one. So
Well, Joe Pesci like kind of has some, like some chutzpah. Like he's been in some
yeah.
gangster films. Like he's,
yes.
So yeah,
Yes, I know. I totally agree.
Shouts
We just
to
watched
him.
those two the other day, and it is every time something happens to Marv, you're like, listen, prayers up for Marv because he's about to get it.
Marv is getting smoked.
Oh shoot. Okay, my number one is
Okay, your number
is
one.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Jim Carrey's, and here's the only reason. The Mask, that movie, The Mask,
Yeah.
and How the Grinch Stole Christmas is just peak Jim Carrey,
Okay.
just craziness.
Yeah.
And people are like, he's on drugs, he's on this. No, I just think like him and Robin Williams were two people at the upper echelons of this, that's just who they were. They are just these crazy people. And he has some of the most quotable lines like in that movie.
Yep.
This is stuff he does. Like the movie's kind of weird. Like it's mega
Yeah. Well, the whole premise is odd, but yes.
but he just makes that movie so much weirder. And it just cracks me up the stuff the guy says and just hits like
yeah.
the suit, what he is, the way he looks. It's just
Yeah.
like, what do you do if you're like a director and you're shooting these scenes and he does this? Like, what's your critique? What if he's like, hey, what should I do better? It's like, I honestly don't even know.
Yeah, pretend like you're on more drugs. Yeah.
Can we get some actual drugs in here to tame him down a little bit?
So not one of us did like the traditional Miracle on 34th Street.
No,
We didn't do any of those kind of.
no rom-coms, no Love Actually.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
No,
Because I feel like these.
no Elf. I was a little surprised by that.
Oh yeah.
Elf hit my
hot
4.
take. I hate Will Ferrell.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I don't hate him.
I do.
I don't hate him, but I understand the hate. Like he is.
You either like him or you don't.
He
Yeah.
just
One of those people.
screams. He just screams, and I just don't. I don't know. I just don't find it that funny.
Elf just doesn't feel Christmassy to me. I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
It was my number 4. It was right there.
Let me tell you, Elf is more Christmassy than The Empire Strikes Back.
Listen, I'm just gonna. This is a hill I'm willing to die on.
Well,
Okay, and it's
get in there. That
it's
cave with that
clearly
tauntaun and get your arms ripped off because
it's clearly in a bunker on Hoth is where I'm willing to die. That's right.
Oh man!
All right, so the end of class, it's over. The sub's leaving. The movie's over. I'm rolling it out. That's the end of this one. I'm sure we'll come up with some other interesting Christmas ideas as we keep going, but we'll take a quick break and come back with one last segment.
All right, and we're back. And I have this week's walk-off wisdom. It is another fitness type mantra that I will apply to, you can apply to any aspect of your life. It is running your best may not be your fastest. And what that means is that if you give your best effort in whatever type of run that you're running, not every single run is a race. Every single time you train, you're not training for, like, you're not mimicking a 10K, a half marathon. You're just not doing that. That's not how you train. So you may be running your best pace training, and that is never going to be your best PR time ever. You may be running your best recovery run, and a recovery run is exactly that. You're not running your fastest time. You're letting your body chill out for a little bit. And that can kind of go into life of whatever you decide to do. There are some things you can't control, right? Like, as a runner, you can't control headwind or tailwind, whether the wind's coming at you or helping you further. Some things in life you cannot control. And it is just simply up to you whether or not you're going to give your best every single time. So whatever it is you're deciding to do in your life, if you're a student right now, be the best student you can be. If you are a dad or a mom, be the best mom in that moment. Okay. It's hard to be, the bar is different if you're the best mom cleaning up puke off the floor versus the best mom at Christmas time. There's just different stages of what you can be doing. And so don't feel like that every single time you're doing something, you have to PR, you have to do your best, like you're the highest accolade. It's not about that every single time. It's just whatever structure you're in, make sure you're giving your absolute best.
I love it.
Here's what I'm hearing. Make sure your weighted runs created plus is as good as it can be at all times. And listen, sometimes you're in a hitter's park, sometimes you're in a pitcher's park, and life
but
is
the
just
stats will still show it. That's right.
Best effort. Best effort all the time. Best,
that's it.
And right, consistency is what makes greatness, right? That's it. What's the difference between like a 2-WAR player and a 5-WAR player? Is the 5-WAR players consistently doing it more?
That's right. Giving their best.
Bang.
I love it.
That was a bat flip right there. Bat flip.
That was.
So get out there and run. That's what I'm trying to say. So thanks for tuning in for the Redbird Rundown, your go-to spots for all things St. Louis Cardinals. So be sure to subscribe, rate, review the show. It helps grow this Redbird Rundown community. Shout out, we did hit top 150 in baseball podcast. So let's go. All right. So thank you to this community. If you're still here with us, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Redbird Rundown 2 and find us on Facebook at Redbird Rundown Podcast. You get all that latest news, maybe some contests and some more. Maybe Brent Brown will respond to us. But until next time, keep those rally caps on, and of course, let's go Cards.
Birds.